I love theory. I love it. It helps me like it gives me it understanding the world makes me feel like I have some level of control over my life. That's that's essential to me. This coffee's fucking hot. Kind of like myself. LOL. Theory makes me come, indeed. Facts, as the kids say. What's the secrets of being hot? Well, this is complicated, right? Because, like, you have societal expectations of beauty and, like, attractiveness. But then you have, like, your own individual conception of, like, what you can do with your appearance. So, like, what I basically think about this is that we should, the way to being hot is to basically develop your own style. That's one thing. And the thing about it is like people who feel like they're just like essentially ugly because of their like bone structure or whatever is that's literally just a cope because like that's not how any of this works. Anyone is capable of being attractive. I don't believe in an attractiveness hierarchy because attractiveness is also subjective taste. And certain people like things that are very societally ugly. Like certain people like crossed eyes or like body hair or like things like this. You see what I mean? So what I've found is basically like the only way to be hot, the only way to be hot is to be hot. Like just be yourself. Like you have to actually do it. You have to actually just like I wish there was a better, and I'm sure there is. Like I'm sure this will be like future video topics or something, but like I wish there was a better way of explaining that to people so that they could do it themselves. But it's literally just like in order to be some things, you literally just have to be them. That's it's kind of some would say like circular, but that's literally how it works. Cuz for the longest time like I felt just utterly disgusting. But that was very like connected to the fact that I was perceiving myself to be the wrong gender. And so my blossoming into femininity is it's very connected to an idea of beauty. It's very connected to a feeling that I'm becoming hotter. Revealing my hotness, perhaps, would be a way of saying it. I hope any of that makes sense. I really hope that I like my thinking like affects people because I don't want to just be like I don't want to just be like some kind of spectacle. I don't want to just be like some kind of like entertainment channel just dunking on conservatives all day. Like I want to break people out of the ideology of the status quo. I don't want people to simply just watch me and then go back to their regular life. I want to affect the way that you think. I have coffee. It's weird. I usually don't drink it this late, but after stream I've got to watch a movie for class, which is fun. I'm doing a Joker review for a theater class, which is fun. So I've got to rewatch that tonight. And yeah, and Roadcone, we can talk after I watch ContraPoints' latest video on stream, because that's what we're doing tonight. It's funny how I thought that like I was gonna make an electoralism video before the election. That didn't happen. But I am gonna make a video about that 3-prong strategy idea that I was thinking of like all year, which basically synthesizes the approaches of like electoralism and direct action and doing discourse. Because I think that we as the left, like as a broader movement, should seriously be like doing all three of them. Because they play into each other. If you convince people through debate and rhetoric, that will get more people on your side to do the voting and direct action. If you do direct action, you can push the elected officials to do things. That's the whole idea of protesting and things like that, right? And if you vote people in who will be more receptive to those demands that you're protesting for, there's even more reason to protest. Like it's very synthetic. It's very like easy to synthesize this. I don't understand why people, an online discourse has turned this into a debate of electoral versus direct action, because that's a false dichotomy. We should just be doing both, because they literally directly play into each other. It's basically a psyop debate. It's just there to divide us. But yeah, I am not your average leftist. Congrats on almost 100 views on the new vid. Yeah. It's popping off. I'm glad that a lot of people are watching it. I put a lot of work into that. And I think it paid off, because I think it's pretty good. Yeah, you've got like a bunch of people listening to your music. It's cool. But yeah, like I'm not your average leftist, and I feel like this new video that I just put out is very it's very much my own sort of ideas. It's very like I came up with it. Because it's funny, because I'm kind of like, I'm synthesizing like cultural hegemony theory with queer theory. It's very like, I don't know, part of that feels kind of innovative to me. It feels like not a lot of people are thinking that way about it. I think I have a certain ability to sort of think outside of the box in that sense, where it's like I'm not just watching other people's YouTube videos and then like parroting opinions that have been fed to me, and I'm not just like reading Stalin and just telling other people to read Stalin and like acting like everything Stalin said was fucking flawless. Like I'm not a fucking Voshite and I'm not a fucking Tanky on Twitter. Like, you know what I mean? I'm my own thing. And I very much do like think for myself in a very real sense, it seems. Well, I mean, a lot of people just like it's a weird like well, the thing about theory is the fact that there's a lot of theory. Um like there's more than just fucking Marx and Lenin and Mao, like and Stalin. Like there's contemporary theory out there. There's like the neo-Marxists and the European Marxists and the left communists. Like Gramsci is a left communist, and I take a lot of like Gramscian type of ideas, like the cultural hegemony, and like the ideas of like the proletarian and bourgeois intellectuals, and the ideology critique. Like that's left communist shit. And there's anarchist theory. There's more theory than just like, oh, read Lenin forehead. Like, but people get into this weird box where it's like it seems like they think that what socialism means is literally just doctrinaire Marxist Leninism. But it's like, no, there's so much more to it. And like I think this all of these types of thinking and these types of patterns is what leads to this kind of like dogmatic sectarianism of like, oh, I'm the true leftist. You're all fake leftists. You're all not real leftists. It's like this weird gatekeeping of the left that I just find really that's what that stems from, is that belief that like socialism only has one definition and it's my definition. It's cringe in my opinion. Cuz like first of all, like that's not how words work. Like I get triggered when people say that meme about like, oh, words have meanings. It's like words are just descriptive terms for what you're describing. Like you can use one word to describe, or two different people can use two different words to describe the same thing. And two different people can use the same word to describe two different things. Like learn how language works, please. Like well, I think that like liberals have a tendency towards this. Like there's a lot of unconscious bias. There's a lot of unconscious bias in being like a liberal or being like a centrist, where you just think that everything you believe is just based on fact. But actually it's like, and you think that you're non-ideological, but actually it's like you just have the ideology of the status quo as it exists. You know what I mean? Like, and that's ideological. The ideology of neoliberalism loves to hide itself. It loves to pretend like it doesn't exist. But in reality, it's like, no, that's an ideological perspective you have. There's a different opinion that's possible to have that's valid on the same issue. But I think that my new video is like the start of me like synthesizing my own ideas and like sharing them out, and like really like getting down and like getting out what I think, because honestly when I interact with people online, it's like it makes me feel like my brain is being set on fire, because it's like none of these people really agree with me. Like it's everybody's so confused, it seems like, and I'm just trying to be like the theoretical mediator who like synthesizes a good opinion out of all of the chaos. But that, I think that's an interesting concept. What I was just talking about neoliberal ideology, like the greatest secret, or the, what is this saying? The greatest lie that capitalism ever told was that it doesn't exist. It's that type of thing, like obscuring the actual material structure of the system and how it's been organized in a certain way, and just saying that's just the way it is. That's like the literal theoretical definition of ideology right there. It is what it is. Yeah, exactly. That's probably one of my least favorite phrases in the fucking English language. I honestly can't wait. Yeah, it is a defeatist term, and it's just bullshit. Like, it's a conflation of nature and culture, and almost all right-wing ideology is that. It's a conflation of nature and culture, and just saying, oh, the way that we've designed society is just the way that humans do that. It's like, no, that's a human choice. Everything that's systemic is a choice that humans are making, whether it's conscious or not. Everything that's societal can be changed. That's the point of calling it out to be a societal construction, is the fact that we can do it differently. And so, like, a lot of the time, I just feel like I'm on my own little intellectual island, because it's like this type of thinking is very common among people. This type of like naturalistic thinking. And what was I saying? I can't wait to get back home, to be honest. Can't wait until I can't wait until the semester ends, or not the semester ends, until I get a vacation, cuz we have like the entire like after, like when we get set, well, if I can speak, um okay, Oricon, I can't wait until the end of the month when we get sent home, because I just want to go back to my parents' house right now, honestly. I can't wait. I feel kind of free there in a way. It'll be nice because we don't have to go back here until the second semester begins in January, so. And I have a endocrinologist appointment in January as well before that. So the next year is exciting. I'm really like putting my life into motion. It's kind of incredible. I was incredibly stagnated, I feel, when I was trapped in my false male identity. I was very like repressed and like stagnated in life, to the extent that I had like all this confusion and all of this psychological turmoil and all these like ways of being that weren't authentic to myself. And I feel like really like in this past year I've really gained like the ability to become myself in a sense, and really like break free of that psycho-societal prison that just gets imposed upon you in that kind of way. And so I have a lot of thoughts about all that stuff. I am not your average leftist. I keep saying, like, I am a theoretician who is smarter than your average fucking, like, you know what I mean? That's really what I want to prove. Because, like, honestly, the people who live in my hometown and, like, the people that I grew up around for the most part, and, like, just bigoted people, they think that I'm just crazy. There's a lot of, like, public perception that thinks that I'm just a nutcase. But in reality, it's like I'm a theoretician who's smarter than them. Like, and I feel like that's another thing that my new video, like, really hopefully shows, is the fact that, like, there's a method to my madness. I'm not this predatory caricature of a human being that they've made me out to be. I am fucking smarter than them. Like, Trump or not? Nah. Speaking of that, do we want to watch? Yeah, let's do it. Let's watch the voting video. Understanding ContraPoints' voting video.